There are shows that have plot holes, and there are shows like Snowpiercer. Here, there are so many plot holes that a person can feel a little lost at times. Plus, being ambiguous about the origin of food and water on board a moving train in a desolate wasteland just adds to the confusion. So here's why the Snowpiercer cast can't stand the bad writing. Let's dive right into it, shall we? Number 10. Why didn't they stop WILFORD'S train from adjoining? For our first pick, we're going to be talking about the most noteworthy moment of Season 1 and 2, if we're being honest. Namely, when WILFORD drove his train Big Alice into Snowpiercer, the entire show changed and all of Reddit was on fire. If you're asking why, then we would like to point out that everyone was saying how easily they could have shut down WILFORD. All that it too was pushing a couple of buttons. Everyone said that they were basically waiting for them to get in instead of decoupling the last 3 to 5 cars, or even 10 cars, blowing out the windows and running away. That was an obvious solution, and they still didn't do it.
Cheers. Mr. Layton, your journey.
Number 9. Why was there a polar bear? Wait! What do you mean there was a polar bear? Isn't this a lifeless planet they're living on? Where did the bear come from? We know it's the North Pole and everything, but we also know that this polar bear needs to eat something. Do you mean to tell us that there are fish and seals somewhere nearby? And if there are fish, does that mean that there is unfrozen water somewhere? That means that all of those people are locked inside the train for nothing, and there is a habitable land somewhere on the Earth. If that's the case, then the whole show loses all meaning and we're left wondering why they would miss such an important detail. If you want to see how irrational their food supply is, then just keep on watching until the end.
You killed my friend, and now I kill you!
Number 8. There are other survivors. Before we talk about the other survivors, don't forget to smash that like button. It keeps the almighty YouTube algorithm happy, and you keep getting these videos for free. This part had us a little baffled. From Season 2, we know that there are other survivors and they're on board Big Alice. But what's crazy about this fact is that it was revealed right from the get-go. How come? Well, there was nothing special about the engine and the heating on the train, which means anyone could have replicated it with a little more money. Therefore, the show told us that there are going to be other survivors right from the get-go. Number 7. Why doesn't the train stop? In Season 1, they didn't even talk about this major plot hole. We just see the train in perpetual motion. It's always moving, it never stops, but they didn't tell us why. Is it because the engine would fail if they did? Maybe it would explode and kill everyone on board. If it's anything else other than these two reasons, then it's not really a reason. Why? Because stopping the train at the right station could mean the difference between life and death. They could get some more water, they could gather natural resources, and even save energy on top of all that. Honestly, they seem to be torturing people just for the sake of torture, not to torture them for the sake of comfort of the rich. Number 6. Where's the food coming from? Honestly, this is something we can't just turn a blind eye to. We know that people need about 1 acre of land to be kept fed for an entire year, and I know what you guys are thinking. But guys, doesn't that mean we need to have a lot more space than just that on the train? Now, we know that the train has enough room for about 70 acres, and you would still need to feed the thousands and thousands of people on board, and yes, even if we could use vertical farming, the number of acres could be bumped up to 200. Now mind you, this is if you were to demolish every room on the train and turn it into farmland. And don't even get us started on meat. Cattle and farm animals would be impossible to feed on board the train, which only further complicates the whole situation with the meat-eating community.
What if we offered her voice of the train?
You're not gonna buy her with
Number 5. Where's all the water coming from? Let's think about this for a minute. If you look at how much water an American individual spends in a year, we're looking at a number that's around 1,500 cubic meters. But for the sake of argument, we're gonna say that these individuals know how scarce water is and they're responsible. Unless you're the elite, in that case, everything goes. For this reason, we're gonna say that they're consuming water like someone from Denmark, 117 cubic meters. Even with as low a number as this, we're still looking at 240,000 cubic meters. That's equal to 1/3 of the entire train, and we know for a fact that Snowpiercer has neither the capacity nor the harvesting mechanisms to get that amount of water. If you want to know which two characters have poorly constructed motives, then just keep on watching until the end.
She fell a long way from first when her parents passed. She learned to work, sir. She knows the train now, and I'm proud.
Number 4. How do they deal with waste processing? So many people translate to just one thing: so much poo. We know that modern waste processing requires too much water, a resource they can't take for granted and waste. Furthermore, all those crops and acres of land we talked about needs fertilizer. Are they using all of that human waste to fertilize their crops on the train? And if so, where are they making and storing all of this waste? Number 3. The protein blocks and wood have to be made somewhere. This is a two-part section, so let's tackle the first part right away. They said that protein blocks are made from insects, but wait, didn't they say that there's no life anywhere on the planet? Where are the insects living? But a more important question is, in which train car are they making the protein blocks? Because they sure as hell can't be outsourcing them. And the second part of this question, where are they making the furniture, the wood, the materials, all of the furniture in the train? Whether in the luxury or the impoverished section, whether it's wood, metal, or plastic, it has to come from somewhere. And we definitely know that they don't have enough room on board to manufacture them. Number 2. Why were the stage revolutions? Seriously now, did they really need the revolution that they talked about in the show? First of all, we all know how you can control the population number, just put restrictions on unprotected sex and the natality rate goes down. And since we know they have no problem killing people, the punishment for breaking the rules could be death. But instead, the show didn't put any restrictions on sex and they still had a revolution. Like, who would ever take up arms against the government with such nice standards of living? Honestly, we kind of felt like they pulled this one out of their hat. Number 1. Gilliam and Nam-gung have poorly constructed motives. Finally, we have to talk about these two characters. We're gonna start with Gilliam, who goes to extreme lengths to quote-unquote maintain his cover. Like, can someone please explain to us what Gilliam had to gain by cutting off his arm? Why was not blowing his cover so important to him? And of course, we can't forget Nam-gung. The problem with this character is the fact that you have a smart guy that wants to do an outright stupid thing. Which smart guy wants to leave the train, which is the only place where you can find life and any chance of survival. It sounded cool when we heard it, but when we really thought about it, On a related note, did you notice any other plot holes in the show that we forgot to mention here? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.